Hey there, Sag. Welcome to Love or Intuition. I'm your host here, Jay, and I'm super excited to dive into some energy with you today. Want to let you know that all readings are general, okay? So this may apply, but if it doesn't, honey, let it fly, okay? Want to also be sure to inform you that because energy is not linear, okay? It is fluid, honey. This message could pertain to you or someone that you love or care about or within your love circle. If that is the case, please be sure to hit that share button and send it on over to them. And speaking of buttons, honey, all of these. Attack all of these, okay? Like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you put that post notification bell on so you're notified every single time I post a video. Honey, they're gonna come sporadically. Okay, they're just gonna come sporadically. Okay, and that's my Sag moon and all of my little random grandeur kind of coming into play. Okay. So Sag, I want to let you know, just diving immediately into your energy. Let's see what messages we get from Spirit, just offhand. Spirit, any messages for Sag? Any messages for Sag? I'm hearing white oak specifically. And my guides are telling me that it pertains to wisdom. It pertains to wisdom. Also, any of you that may live in a white oak area, this message may apply a little more. But my guides are specifically saying white oak and wisdom, okay? So definitely look up the meaning of the white oak tree. I wish I knew it so that I could give that to you all. But definitely look up the meaning. Actually, you know what? I'll post the meaning, the spiritual meaning of a white oak down below, okay? So definitely be sure to check out the description box. Okay. So out for you, Sag, we have the Hierophant, the Queen of Cups in reverse, and the Nine of Swords. You're in a position of leadership, Sag. Those of you that I am connecting with, you are in a position of leadership. You are in a position of being the mentor, the teacher, the person that people kind of look to for wisdom, for advice, okay? And even though you are that person for a lot of people, it tends to sometimes be hard for you to balance your own emotion. And it's because you're going through a lot in, how do I describe this? Like, it's your inner work, but for a lot of you, it's work that you're not doing. So it's what lies beneath. It's what lies beneath. It's what's sitting beneath the smiles and the leadership and the I'm showing up for everyone else is in some areas of my life, I'm not showing up for me. I need more. I need more is what I'm hearing. So some of you definitely feel like you need more time in a day. Some of you definitely feel like you need more space to just be yourself, to be able to express, to be able to evaluate your own emotions. And you don't necessarily feel like you're being given that at this time, okay? I definitely feel like some of you are in a place where you're hopeful that this feeling will soon turn around. But Spirit is very clear that it's not going to turn around without action from you. Without action from you, yeah. I mean, what? Temperance card in reverse, and then we have the Ten of Cups, okay? You can have it all. You can genuinely have it all, but it's going to take you finding some balance. So whether that is time management, whether that is you saying, okay, I'm going to allow, like I said, that time management, I'm going to allow a certain amount of time every day to focus on this goal. I'm going to allow a certain amount of shut out from the rest of the world for this thing to be handled, to be dealt with. For some of you, this also is in the realm of like physical physical nature. So, you know, as far as like, oh, I really want to exercise or really want to lose weight and I just can't, you know, seem to find the time. Honey, make the time. Okay. It's always easier said than done, and I know this. Trust me, I get it. Okay, because sis is sitting over here pretty thick. Okay, I get it, honey. But it is important to prioritize yourself. And as these messages move through me, I'm like, oh, you know, it's definitely a little bit of a step on toes for all of us. Okay, so no, you're not alone. But know that you can have it all. Know that you can have the family. You can have the proper finances. You can have your position in leadership. You can have all of what you want for yourself, Sag, but it is going to take you finding some sense of balance, okay? And this is for you. This is not necessarily balance with all of the external things, even though for some of you this does definitely entail the external. This is you finding that balance within yourself. What things, you know, like prioritizing. Yeah, see this hand movement. Prioritizing. So prioritizing your life, prioritizing things based on need and desire. Okay, because some of us are, you know, moving outside of just our needs, and a lot of what is going on in our lives are just strictly desire, just strictly the luxury of living, you know. And what are some of those things that aren't necessarily, you know, needed at this time that we can take some time off from, or we can kind of say, okay, I can do this once a week versus all 5 days of the week or all 7 days of the week. You know, like what are some things that we can kind of put into place to prioritize this position of space that we need, this position of healing that we need, or this position of maybe just exercising that we would like. Okay. And Spirit wants to remind you that you're not doing anything wrong, Sag. It's not that you're doing anything wrong. You're doing all things right. It's just about prioritizing, you know, the things that it's some of the desire. It's a great deal of what is desired here at the time. Okay. Because again, there are a lot of things that we're doing just out of sheer comfort, not necessarily things where it's like, I desire this for my betterment. It's just, I'm desiring these things out of sheer comfort. So that's the difference. I want to be very clear in saying there's a lot of things that we're doing just out of desire of comfort, and things that we need to be doing out of our desire, our own fulfillment, which is very different. Okay. Look at the bigger picture. Full moon in what? Sagittarius. Look at the bigger picture. Look at the bigger picture. There are things that you desire for yourself that are not happening right now, that are a part of your bigger picture, that are a part of what it is that you see yourself moving into. Maybe even a position in leadership that you see yourself moving into. And without you taking the necessary steps to prioritize, you know, this development, this growth, you may not get to that point as soon as you like. But it's important to know that all of these things that you desire are possible and that they can happen. It's just about you taking the time out to, again, prioritize things that are just for your comfort versus things that need to be put more so in the forefront to grant you your fulfillment. Okay? Step out of your comfort zone. North Node. Look at that. Step out of your comfort zone, right? We're talking about that. We're talking about the fact that it's not going to be comfortable. These are not things that we're desiring that are for comfort. These are things that we're desiring for our ultimate fulfillment, which is very different, okay? Don't let your past hold you back, South Node. Okay, some of you are in a position where you've seen things time and time again not work out. So you're just kind of like, listen, okay? Been there, done that. You know, got the t-shirt, the Coke, okay, and a little swirly straw. Honey, I know how this ends. I'm not going to continue to waste my time doing this thing that, you know, I want to do, but it's just never really, you know, ending up in anything grand for me. Understand that you've never done it the way that you would have done it for someone else. Okay? And I want you to hear me, Sag. Hear me, okay? You've never done it in the way you would have done it for someone else. You've never done it for you like that. You've never done it for you like that. You've never crossed all your T's and dotted all your I's the way you would have done had you have been in a position for someone else. You never would have done it like that. You have never done it like that. So it's important to get out there and do it for yourself the way you would have done it for them, the way you would have done it for a boss, for the way you would have done it for a friend. Do it for you the same way, the same amount of dedication, the same amount of fearlessness, the same amount of I'm going to keep my eye on the prize and I'm not going to stop until this is done. That same amount of drive, that proactive behavior, that energy of just this needs to get done and I'm not going to stop until it's finished and it's completed and it's everything it was supposed to be. That is the type of drive that you have to push into your current reality for you. And while that's not easy, while that is not super, oh, no problem, it's what needs to happen at this time, okay? It's what needs to happen at this time. So I'm going to pull from my Keepers of the Light Oracle deck to see if any messages come out from some spiritual beings. And I'm hearing, really heavy, Sag, you got to forgive yourself. You got to forgive yourself for that. You got to forgive yourself for showing up for yourself differently than you show up for others. You got to forgive yourself for that. You got to understand that it's not your fault that things are not moving the way that you would like them to. It's just that you didn't see it. It wasn't something that, was clear to you before this point. Okay? So, okay. So we got like 5 Keepers of Light. So I'm going to go through them for you guys. Then we have Cerebus Bay, Ascension, move into your true self, rise above the darkness. The light is here. The light is here. Okay? Everything you want, you can have. Okay? It's about rising above those negative thoughts. It's about pushing yourself past that point of feeling like things are limited, because there's nothing that's limited, okay? And then speaking of limitless, okay, you have Lord Ganesh, infinite abundance. Obstacles are being removed. Spiritual support and connections are increasing. Okay? Spiritual support and connections are increasing. I'm sorry, I smile so hard because I just... this being Ganesh, I just have a special bond and connection with. I love Ganesh. Alrighty, Isis, magic manifesting. Your dreams, visions, and goals are becoming reality. Stay focused. Okay, stay focused. Create the plan. Create the plan. Have it in front of you every day. Take a look at it. Check things off. Make short-term and long-term goals so that you can see the development. You can see it in front of you and, plainly, okay? For those of us that, have phones, okay, a lot of us have phones, honey. Make a checklist on your notes in your phone. And then every time you reach a goal, fill that bubble. Allow yourself to see and take a look back at all that you have accomplished. Do not just sit in what hasn't been done. Embrace yourself in gratitude and in positivity about what has been done, what is getting done, okay? And honestly, even if that's for some of you, just taking it day by day, okay? Because for some of us, this is a position where it has allowed us to kind of move into a state of depression. So it's important to understand that just give yourself the little wins. Give yourself the little wins. Congratulate, celebrate with yourself, okay? It doesn't necessarily have to be something that is out loud in front of everyone, but celebrate the small wins. Celebrate the small wins, okay? And then we have Sanat Kumara, light activation. Shine your light. Your internal guidance is coming through loud and clear, okay? Your internal guidance is coming through loud and clear. And I just want to take a look at how Satnat glows. glows beyond just the card. Like, and you see me, like I'm playing, honey, and this is like the energy of Satnam Kumara, I love. And then Mother Mary, love and peace. Let go of the need to be right. Choose peace. Mother healing is possible at this time, okay? Mother healing is possible at this time. Some of you have a good deal of connection that needs to go on and that needs to occur with your mothers, okay? There's a part of you that needs this healing to happen and occur with your mom, okay? And while this is an uncomfortable position, while this is not necessarily something that you want to do, it's needed at this time. For some of you, there's a grand need to heal. Oh, yes, I'm seeing it here. So if you look behind Ganesh, there's this heart chakra. There's this heart chakra emblem, and then you see the matching kind of halo of sacred geometry sitting behind Mother Mary. Understand that there's some healing that has to happen, some deep-rooted healing that has to happen as it relates to your mother, okay? As it relates to your mother, okay? There's some disconnect. There's some disconnect of heart space energy that has to take place, okay? And it's important for you to understand that. Okay, I'm sorry. My guys are like, stop right there. Let's talk about this, okay? So it's important for you to understand that your mother may not have always gotten things right, okay? And for a lot of you, she didn't get things right, okay? And it's important for you to honor your position in this life. It's not about making someone else feel good. It's not about making someone else or pacifying someone else in the way that they may feel, okay? It's important for you to acknowledge the pain that has occurred with your mother specifically. That it's important for you to acknowledge the fact that there's healing that has to be done to that relationship due to another kind of damaging that relationship. And there was a trust that was broken between you and your mom. There was, healing that I feel like you don't necessarily look at. There's just somewhat of a frustration, somewhat of an annoyance when it comes to your mom, and you just never really understand why. It's important to take a look back at childhood. It's important to take that look back at your inner child and ask your inner child, like, what's the problem with mom? Like, what's the issue? What did she do? What did she not do? Did she not speak up for me enough? Did she not say certain things, that I felt like she needed to say? Did she not take up for me in a way that I felt like she should? Did she not hold me enough? Did she not care for me enough? Do I feel neglected by her in some way that is still kind of existing in my life today, where I'm expecting so much from people because I felt neglected as a child? Really allowing yourself to break some of these things down so that you can understand how they're showing up in your current life and how they can be worked on positively. Okay? If it's that you're a person that requires, more quality time, and it's because you did feel neglected as a child, it's important for you to heal these wounds and to deal with these things so that we do not become so codependent on others that we can't stand on our own, that we can't provide our own quality time, that we can't provide our own comfort, okay? I will say, as a person that is a mom, it is not always easy, and that's not at all me making an excuse for mothers at all, because, honey, I've had my fair share of mother trauma, honey, but I want you to understand that everybody is going through their own experience, and while everybody's going through their own experience, I don't always feel that people fully understand how their decisions and the things in which they do impact others. And I definitely feel that in the realm of parenthood, parents don't necessarily always see that they're even doing anything to hurt you, or that anything is even happening that is harmful. And wow, I mean that, and it's that in and of itself that sometimes makes it hard for us to communicate the things that we're feeling. And it's because we feel like, oh, well, maybe it wasn't intentional, or maybe they weren't doing it on purpose, or I know they love me. But knowing that they love you is not an excuse to ignore your own pain. It's not an excuse to ignore your own trauma. Okay? It may not have been intentional, but it still happened. It still hurt. And you have to acknowledge that within yourself. If you feel like it needs to be brought outside of that and become a conversation with your parents, have that conversation. Let them know that you're here to speak first, to be heard, and not necessarily to, kind of go back and forth in dialogue, because you're only speaking from the truth of your own experience. Okay, Sag? So I love you so much. This was like, a lot for me. I think I'm gonna go have a cry. But yeah, I love you, and I will see you in your next reading, okay? Have a good one, Sag. Be blessed. Like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that post notification bell so you're notified every single time I post. All right, love. Bye now.